And then the fruit is the purity, the blamelessness, being filled with righteousness. And all of that, it sums up, is to God's glory. So that's more fleshed out reason why he should be thankful and joyful. Again, you could get into that a whole lot more if we were in a Bible study. It would be worth doing that. But the end goal of all this loving is just kind of interesting. Is not just the results because, I love my wife and she felt better. But the end goal in God's economy is that it changes me. My obedience does work within me. So the goal, as we try to do right by one another and help each other as a church, yeah, you do want to help them and you want to do that without thinking of yourself, but it's being used in God to really help us back. You all have done stuff like when we did the foster care thing. How many people went to that? Like, a lot of you. How many people walked away feeling that you were blessed by just being there? And you just were kind of helping and doing stuff. It's not like, but it's a blessing. And by the way, you guys can come along when we deliver the presents. That's okay. But that kind of thing needs to be understood, that we do get the blessing and out of it. God gets the glory. One way of looking at this is, I read a book about marriage, and part of the thesis was that your wife is God's gift to you to perfect you. So instead of worrying about how you irritate her or she irritates you, how you don't get along with this or that, look at how you're responding in Christ. Look at what it's doing to you. And if you extend that to your kids, that's another story. How your kids irritate you might say some more about you than it does about them. How you handle it. They're going to irritate you. They're your kids. But what are you going to do with that? That's God's work in you. So all that is really, and same way in the church. Okay. So let me wrap this up. Here's how I relate to this. That's maybe helpful. In my work as a chaplain, it could get depressing, and there are times when it does, where your heartstrings are tugged, and it could seem really futile. But the amount of, I don't know, I'd say this right. I see a lot of people, okay? There are about 10 new people come on every week, and about 10 people die every week. Caseload of about 100 people. You add it up, I've helped probably over 1,000 people die since I started doing the work. So, would that be a depressing thing? No, not if you focus on the fact that God had a work in them. We're just trying to help it along. God has a work in me. You can pray with joy and thanksgiving for anybody. As long as you have that commonality, you're working towards it. Do we take each other for granted and think we're just going to be around another 3 weeks? On average, you'll die in 3 weeks. I'm just saying. Appreciate each other while we have each other. And now that's in hospice, not normal life. I understand that. But the point is,
I'm ready.
Ben's ready to go. At this, it's just honestly loving as we can with that kind of thankful. Can I be thankful? Yes. Can I be joyful? Yes. Can I affirm Christ in our lives? Yes. Can we share some degree of goodwill and love? Yes. Can I pay attention to what God's trying to accomplish that day? Yes. Can I love God through that? Can they love God through that? Can we love each other through it? Yes. Can I be changed by it? We covered that. Yes. Can I glorify God? Most definitely. God doesn't waste anything in our life. Somebody say He doesn't waste our pain. I would say He doesn't waste the good either if we let Him. He uses everything He possibly can to perfect us. We just have to be partners, as we said, cooperating with Him. But in God's hands, man, everything is used. So let's have a prayer. Lord, thank you for your presence here, your work in our life, and Lord, forgive us for taking that for granted. It's come at great cost for your Son. And Lord, that gives us every perspective on not just ourselves, but other people. So Lord, our prayer is that you would revive in us that sense of partnership, that sense of cooperation with you and with each other. That's our simple prayer today. In Jesus we ask. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so along that line, we're going to sing a couple